Hello everyone, I'm Kristen Bianchi, co-founder of Threatrix. Threatrix Software Composition Analysis Solution is the first cost-effective continual license compliance and automated security solution, allowing companies to quantify their exposure to open source risk and licensing infractions. Please allow me to introduce you to Threatrix with a short demo. We provide two separate dashboards, one for security teams and one for compliance teams. This is the home dashboard or threat center for your security teams. Our dashboard makes it easy for them to remediate and understand your security vulnerabilities that are hidden within all of the projects. We provide a complete, comprehensive list of all of the components found in each project. The compliance team dashboard provides separate functionalities that will allow them to audit the legal licensing requirements and risk that are attached to the open source used within your organization. We'll get to that in a moment. We provide a security risk summary for all of your projects. It includes vulnerabilities, licenses, components, and assets, which are the asset compositions of all projects. Below that is the Projects tab that provides all of the quantitative data. Once a project is scanned directly from GitHub or our CLI plugin from your CI/CD, the data will be displayed. You can review each result by clicking on the Projects button. You will then see summary data specific to the chosen project and the relevant details under each tab at the bottom. Most of the software composition analysis tools today rely on dependency manager data to provide organizations with the vulnerabilities and licenses in open source software, but that's only about 55% of the open source within your projects. Developers have multiple ways that they consume open source. Developers will place open source in archives that are embedded in the project, which is statically or dynamically linked from the project. Open source files are pulled into projects. Code snippets are copied and pasted directly into your IP. Embedded scripts that are in JSP or ASP files are completely ignored by other tools, and CDN references, where developers reference a jQuery file or something on the internet that are dynamically pulled into projects. Now, this is just a short list of all the areas where Threatrix finds the hidden open source compared to all other tools on the market. Thanks to our TrueMatch technology, our vulnerability database draws from more than 21 public and private sources, supporting the broadest language coverage in the market with more than 400 languages. We detect more accurately and holistically all of the open source hidden within your projects and provide proof of the provenance. Existing SCA tools miss a large portion of your open source, providing an inaccurate software bill of materials. They won't discover the vulnerabilities and licenses that are found within the missed open source, but you won't know this until you use Threatrix for a side-by-side comparison. Though developers aren't typically focused on licenses, they do have access to the attached licenses within each project in case they are restricted by your organization to have access to the compliance dashboard. Any changes made here by devs will show up in the compliance dashboard. The details for each attached license are provided, including permissions, limitations, and conditions to effectuate company policies, and licenses that are compatible or incompatible. We cross-reference all the license data with the associated components, as well as all of the assets associated within each project. Your IP files that contain open source or are open source based on our TrueMatch algorithm. We accurately determine the provenance of the files, determine exactly which files they are, which projects, and the correct licenses that are attached to each file. We provide a complete list of components, not just from your dependency managers, but a comprehensive list of all components hidden within archives, open source files, copy code snippets, embedded scripts, and CDN references and their associated licenses. We give your developers the ability to automatically fix the vulnerabilities by upgrading the components to the latest secure version or the next secure version, which provides the lowest risk of breaking the build. This creates a PR and allows the teams to merge the PRs if they so choose. The Assets tab is set up similar to GitHub. Devs can easily navigate through the project and easily understand what is in each project, including any open source snippets located. If we click on the mixed1.py file that's shown, that will provide the details. We see that we've located two open source snippets. We provide exactly where each snippet was pulled from. And we show the percentage of the file match. The left number is the percentage of open source that's been copied into your source file. The right number is the percentage of code that was copied from the open source file. We detect all the snippets in a single file, and we detect the exact version. Now, this is very important to understand because licenses change over time and they are associated with the release. We detect accurately the origins of a specific component, the versions from which it came, and the licenses that are attached with the exact version so your teams can decide what is applicable and what is high risk. You can also view each file side by side in our SIM tool to see the highlighted snippet. The information provided is based on case law for IP. It will match snippets or pieces of code up to 30% variance in the two pieces of code. This is important because it saves your teams from having to sort through hundreds or even thousands of false positives, saving on overhead. Now let's view the audit or compliance dashboard. This shows that this audit has not been started yet from the previous project and that it is the first time the project will be scanned. We call this a baseline audit. Once a subsequent audit takes place, the audit type then becomes a delta scan. Once it moves to a delta scan, it will be much easier and much faster to receive the results because it won't be necessary to scan the components completed from the baseline audit. The audit details are broken down by components and assets. By clicking on the Components tab, we're able to see who the project is being audited by and whether it has been rejected for any reason by the auditor. They can also be marked as internal if needed, for example, if it ends up being proprietary. Those changes are made directly in the compliance dashboard. This allows your compliance teams to override and verify the results. The data is shown once it has been reviewed and any notes that the auditor has added. Additional licenses can be added or specific licenses can be looked up in our database. Proprietary license may be added as well as any copyrights. The biggest challenge for an auditor is determining the accuracy of the results. The proof of provenance can be verified. We show if licenses are pulled directly from the project itself or from the file. This allows for verification and proof. We also show the exact asset from where the license was pulled. We show the exact location of where we pulled the license from to verify the accuracy. It can then be marked as reviewed. If we click on the Assets tab, we see only the files within the project that contains open source. They are color-coded based on the risk level of the attached licenses. Details of each license are also provided, same as in the compliance dashboard. Our audit dashboard allows organizations to complete baseline audits by half compared to other tools and by up to 90% on Delta audits. We're the only company that can perform Delta audits, allowing for continuous license compliance that holistically locates all of the open source within your organization, saving time and cost. Thank you for listening. To see a complete demo of our capabilities, please reach out today.